Hello, my name is Bria Roberts, and I will be doing an article presentation for EDP 520 on post-secondary transitions of youth emancipated from foster care by Batsche and several other authors. In summary, this article reviews low educational outcomes for foster youth and ways in which post-secondary institutions can increase the educational outcomes for this particular population. This article in particular focuses on a transitional campaign for first-generation students titled Know How to Go. Researchers wanted to examine how this four-step framework campaign could resonate with foster youth and serving their unique needs, as well as how it could create resilience in these students. The four-step framework includes 1, finding someone to help gain information to learn about college. 2, for students to push themselves by taking hard classes and college entrance tests. 3, for students to find the right fit by selecting an institution that matches their academic record, career goals, and personal circumstances. And 4, for students to put their hands on cash by applying for financial aid and scholarships. There were 3 main research questions that were utilized to conduct this study. 1 was to focus on the extent to which foster youth have aged out of foster care and continue their education beyond high school, and how that relates to the Know How to Go 4-step framework. Secondly, researchers wanted to examine to what extent does the Know How to Go campaign address factors that facilitate and frustrate post-secondary participation by youth aging out of foster care, and how might the campaign be modified to address these unique needs. Lastly, researchers wanted to examine to what extent do these youth demonstrate characteristics associated with resiliency. The hypothesis for this article is essentially that these transitional support programs can, in fact, resonate with the needs of former foster youth into post-secondary programs to create higher educational outcomes. Researchers utilized 27 former foster youth that were all between the ages of 18 and 25. They had recently been emancipated from foster care within the last 5 years, and they had been enrolled in or had completed a post-secondary program. Researchers utilize demographic data, interview data, and resilience analysis. For design and procedure, researchers utilize demographic information and enter that into SPSS. The descriptive statistics were used to report the data. Interview data was transcribed verbatim and uploaded. However, in one case, the recording device malfunctioned, and in another case, some responses could not be clearly discerned. In both cases, the data was transcribed directly from the interviewer's notes. When viewing the results for the demographics, there were 18 students who were enrolled in a 2-year college, where 9 of them had planned on continuing to a 4-year college. 5 students had already been attending a 4-year college. The rest of the students had either attended a vocational program or they had previously graduated from the program that they were enrolled. When looking at the 4-step framework for the Know How to Go campaign and the ways in which this resonates with foster youth identified several individuals that helped them throughout the process. So for step 1, there was the encouragement to find someone to help. Foster youth identified teachers, high school counselors, independent living specialists, adult mentors, a coach, older students, friends, and in one case, foster parents. All of these individuals were identified as people who help participants obtain college knowledge. For step 2, students are encouraged to push themselves. Foster youth identified individuals that took the time to explain the courses that they needed, such as school counselors, honor advisors, and caseworkers. For step 3, foster youth identified the ability to find the right fit. So nearly all participants said that they found a post-secondary program that was a good fit for them. The respondents used the same selection criteria as most students. So they focused on location, cost of the cost of the school, program offerings, size, lifestyle, and social opportunities. For step 4, students are encouraged to put their hands on some cash. So paying for college for 16 of the 27 respondents were tuition exemptions, state stipends, Pell Grants, jobs, and other scholarships. The stipend and tuition programs were identified as essential facilitators by 26 respondents, whereas the financial aid system was the major frustrating factor at this step. When looking at further discussion, and discussion that is currently happening, is areas that are important for the post-secondary transition for foster youth or former foster youth. 3 things emerge every time, and that is work, parenting, and transportation. These are 3 major concerns for this population. All participants were challenged by the need to work in order to have enough money to pay for school and living expenses. Resilience is broken down into 3 different levels that make up this theory. So at the individual level, foster youth identified the ability to utilize resources, create goals, maintain positive attitudes, and the ability to make conscious changes based upon past mistakes. At the family level, respondents were able to form trusting relationships with individuals, but biological parents or foster parents were rarely the source. And lastly, at the system level, respondents relied on Connected by 25, which is a service that is specifically for foster youth, and getting them connected to local partners, and helping them persist throughout school. So they disclosed that foster care system was not a point of trust when it comes to creating resilience. Analysis of the Know How to Go campaign shows that the framework that's utilized for first-generation students is a close fit for foster youth. There were 4 areas that were identified in ways in which the Know How to Go campaign can be modified for assisting foster youth specifically in their transition. So the 4 unique areas showed as where and how foster youth are going to live, ways in which the institution can assist in making the transition to independent living less abrupt, direct assistance with financial aid process, and lastly, the real or perceived stigma of foster care and how that's affected educational decisions for many youth in this study. So future research will assist in creating strategies to help foster youth cope with the impact of stigma on educational decisions, as well as methods to minimize stigma in school settings. Thank you for your time.